All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man, Jay. So today we're going to be taking a look at the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I've been using this phone straight through for about going on 4 months probably. And is this the best iPhone that we have right now? Is this the best offering that Apple can bring to the table? I'm going to say probably yes. The Pro lineup, now you know I have 13 as well and the 12s, but the 13 Pro Max is significantly better in a lot of ways. Now, obviously, the camera system on the 13 Pro models is the same because you get an additional lens and you get the macro video and some things like that. But I think nowadays videos have just become, like so-called reviews have just become, we focus a lot on the cameras. And that's because we're in a social media age. And so we want to make sure that we're tackling something that people are actually doing on their phones. And a lot more people now are actually taking video with their devices. They're recordings, they're taking photos, more photos, and because they're getting the opportunity to have such great footage. This is where the iPhone 13 Pro Max really wins for me. Now, yes, it's not a Sigma lens or a prime lens, not that kind of quality, but the fact remains is this device is very nice, man. It really can put down some fantastic video. And I don't think that you're going to be disappointed when it comes to video or photos with this device. Now, while the tones can be adjusted in the settings, you do run into an issue where you're going to have to choose cool or warm. And iPhones just run warm, period. They have like this warm hue to it when they take photos, or brown or yellowish hue. And I adjusted that in the settings by putting it to cool. And so now I can get it to kind of look more like any other photos that I want it to take. So let's just go into my photos here. And I took some photos here recently with the camera, and as you can see here, it's a more cooler tone. It's really nice. I really like how this looks. It's more to my liking. Now, yes, I am wearing a blue, powder blue shirt, but you know the fact is, these photos are more to my liking, and I don't particularly like that warm hue that Apple brings onto their photos, whether it be portrait, a regular shot, or whatever, and especially in video. So obviously, you found out earlier on in my channel, there was a user that came on and said, Jay, you know, I can help you out with this, and with video, that is, by turning off the HDR video. And that kind of solved a whole bunch for me. So with Apple, when it comes to their photos, their cameras, or video, they've mastered that already. I think they're at a place where I trust them for taking photos and videos. I have no disappointments or complaints really at this point, because now the video is on point. And a lot of the video that you used to see on the channel, now obviously I'm not using this phone to record at the moment. I've been using my SL3 with the 24mm lens, and now I'm using my Sigma 16mm lens for this video. But I've predominantly used about 90% or 80% of the videos on the channel were with the iPhone, the Z Fold 3, and the Pixel 6 Pro, and just several other phones, the Galaxy S21 FE. I just use a bunch of different phones to shoot content on the channel because, you know, smartphoneconversations.com, that's the plug. I want to make sure that I'm getting this footage to you with the product, and that's just something that I do. Not everybody has to do that. Some people want to use high-powered cameras for all their videos. I think that the best way to show you about a phone's camera is to use it. That's what I believe, because you get the real gist of what it's about. I can take photos. Now, if I'm just doing a camera review, then yes. But if I'm talking to you about the cameras and I'm you know, just showing you photos all the time, I think that that's just the way I like to do it. I like to record footage with the phones because I do a lot of videos. So with that being said, camera conversation out of the way, software on here, absolutely stunning. You don't run into a lot of phones whose software is stable. It's just one of those things. You want to make sure that you know, when you're looking for software, oh my God, it's hilarious. What the freak are they doing? You want to make sure this little baby is excited to get that food. Anyway, you want to make sure that a software experience is where it's at. And to me, this is where Apple wins. Their software experience is top-notch. Hands down, it's one of the most stable operating systems out on the market. And we don't have very many now. Windows Phone is gone. All these different things are gone. And I think it's unfortunate that we've gotten to that point where we are limited to just Android and iOS. I think that's not good for the consumer. We need to have Windows Mobile was actually really good. And so the fact that Microsoft dropped the ball with the Surface lineup is just incredible to me. That should have been their big break to bring Windows, full-fledged Windows to those small devices. And they blew it. They decided to go with Android. So that's a huge flop for them, I'd say. The second time around to me I didn't even buy it the second time around. I was going to buy the Microsoft Surface Duo 2, but I was like, I am not wasting my money just to do reviews on something that I'm not even going to use. The Surface 1, the Surface Duo, the first generation, is a much better looking device in my opinion. And the software experience, to me, it's the same. It's just you're getting the faster internals. So I know some people that have that are going to say, Jay, the 2 did run better or it does run better. I respect that, but I'm not wasting $1,000 or $2,000 on something that I know I won't use over the Z Fold 3 in the long run, or, the Apple Find and just other folding devices. The Z Flip 3 is killer. You know what I mean? There's too many other devices out there that are stable in their operating system, and Microsoft dropped the ball on that one for sure. Leave a comment down below if you think Microsoft should have put full-fledged Windows on that device, or at least brought back Windows Mobile and integrated it with a full-fledged version of Windows on that device. That was just such a good opportunity. It was missed. But having iOS, there's a lot of things I like about iOS. But more importantly, the things I like about this device. Now, I've often raved and ranted about how beautiful this hardware is, and I still stand firm on that. When I got the order in for the S22 Ultra, I said, I hope the S22 Ultra feels as premium as this device. And premium is a matter of what you think is premium. Really, that's really what it's going to boil down to, because some people equate premium to a heavy feeling device or stainless steel sides and just glass. They put it into play, whatever it is. Like their way of thinking for what premium is depends on what their terminology of premium is when it comes to a device. Yeah. So this hardware to me though is fantastic. This is fantastic hardware. It feels great, and I still don't have my S22 Ultra. March 1st is what today's date is recording this video. So I know that my S22 Ultra won't be here for another couple of weeks probably, but my wife's S22 Ultra, I ordered a white 512 for her through Best Buy. Huge mistake. I will never pre-order through Best Buy again. Just side note real quick. I had to cancel that order. I also ordered her a white S22 Plus, 256 gig. They called me again on that one and said, sorry, we don't know where I'm going to get this. I canceled that too. And then I just went on ahead and ordered her a black 512 from somewhere else. And it's here today, actually. So maybe I'll show you that. I'm not sure. But, nonetheless, this is where Apple comes into play. And I think it's much better than any other OEM that's out there right now in the United States of America. In the U.S., Apple kind of runs the game when it comes to support, software, experience overall as a whole. Apple is winning this. And it's unfortunate that other companies have a lot of money, but they don't want to have stores. You know what I'm saying? They're not interested probably. If they are interested in it, they're not doing it. Apple, if I have a problem with this phone, now I don't believe in buying insurance through a carrier. I don't like that. And so I have Apple Care on my devices that are Apple products. And so it's just like, I think I paid like $100. I don't know what it is, $200. And I got the extended coverage. And I did the loss and damage, the lost one too, because it's only a little bit more. But instead of paying $18 through my carrier, I could have paid $13 a month for Apple for lost and theft and damage and all that stuff. Apple is learning to be just completely complete for the consumer. This is something that I think they have a leg up on people, on other OEMs. Other OEMs won't be able to match this. They've got too big of a start on them, and they've just got too much going for them when it comes to support for the customer. This is why Apple is doing so well in the US, because not that they just give a bunch of software updates. They have great hardware. They have great cameras. The support is like the main thing. That's one of the main selling points for me with Apple. I know that if my 14-inch MacBook Pro breaks, I can walk over to an Apple store, or not literally in the word, but I can drive around the corner to an Apple store and get a new one right then, or have them drop it off and fix it within 24 hours. That's the joys of having Apple Care, and it's real time for me. So that's been my experience with Apple, with their products as a whole. I personally feel like they are, no, we don't want to go there. I personally feel like they are doing it the best when it comes to consumers. That is important. And maybe that's why so many consumers buy iPhones. I don't know. But there it is, man. I mean, having this iPhone in my hand for the last almost 4 months straight, it's been one of the better experiences I've had with Apple. And I know this is their latest and greatest because I have all the other iPhones too. But even using the 13, and I really don't need to address battery, but the fact of the matter is battery life on this thing is fantastic. It's unmatched by nearly every other phone I have. There are a few phones that have better battery life, but they're Android phones that are not as powerful and things like that. You know, they have like a 6,000 milliamp hour battery and they're running the Snapdragon 725 or, you know, just whatever. They're not running an 8th Gen 1 model. It's not happening. So, if you were ever interested in the iPhone 13 Pro Max, this discussion video is not to sway you to try to buy it. It's just to tell you that my experience with this has been fantastic. Now, obviously, there's always going to be cons with this device. What I decided to do was use this device to, if you see the time up there, it's orange up there. I'm just using the recorder. If you didn't notice me switching between apps, I'm using the recorder to record the audio from this device and put it to this video. So the audio that you hear, the microphones and everything is coming from the iPhone 13 Pro Max's microphones to record for this video. But I like to test out the devices in any way possible to get consumers to understand that it can work for you if you make it work for yourself. So with this device, I don't have to do as much to make it my own, and I don't have to do as much to get a good experience out of it. Any cons out there is the same for me. I wish they would update the hardware, you know, give us a new design, man. We deserve a new design by now. You got to give us something. You know, lower the price a little bit. Stop charging for memory upgrades in such a large amount. Give it just a $50 difference in memory options. Because SD cards, you can get a 256 gig SD card or a 512 SD card memory for probably, you know, 40, 50 bucks now. So with Apple charging 100 to 150 to almost 200 sometimes for their memory upgrade options, I don't like that. So a $50 jump, that's reasonable, I guess. If you're going to double the storage for 50 bucks, okay, yeah, because there's a lot of people that are not going to be able to spend that extra $200 just to go from 164 gigs to 256. Apple does those little shady things like that with a 64 gig model on my iPad Mini 6, then it jumps to a 256 gig. That's just stupid to me. And you're charging me almost $200 more just to get that option. So I don't like when Apple does that, but some people say that's just that Apple tax. I think it's just greed. There's no other way to put it. So while Apple has way more going for it than a lot of other OEMs, there's still some areas that they need to get into. They need to get into folding devices. They need to forget all the rumors. They need to just go ahead and do it and stop being afraid because they don't want to lose revenue or they don't want to put out a product that could possibly fail. You know, there are iPhones that have come out in the past that they dropped the ball. They were horrible at some point. Either the battery was bad or the cameras were bad or blah, blah, blah. But what we've noticed that has made Apple get to where they are is they've consistently done these minor updates over the years, and they turn out to be great for the consumer. So this is your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, all the audio that came from here for this video was done directly from the recording of the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.